I am an immigrant.
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 I was born in Estonia, one of the three small Baltic countries, and we left Estonia as refugees when the communist forces took over the Baltic countries. We stayed in a displaced persons camp, DP camps they called them, for the 5 years between 1945 and 1950, when we had the opportunity to immigrate to the United States. Being an immigrant in a new country gives these people a new start in life, a new beginning. With the church involved, that new life is enabled, made possible through Jesus Christ. Not very explicitly said, but it is there. The church, in our case, the Lutheran Church, is there to help alleviate human suffering, especially giving that hand up to people. This is what really saved us as a family in those days. We had that hand up, and it was the Lutheran Church that stepped forward and said, "Here, we're ready to help you." It was an amazing experience.
Immigrating to the United States is not an easy process, regardless of how someone wants to come to the United States. Individuals have to wait years to come on a family-based petition. For example, if a U.S. citizen wants to apply for their sibling who resides abroad, in worst-case scenario, the sibling abroad can wait almost 21 years to come to the United States. It's the same situation in the work-based immigrant visa context. An employer who wants to petition a worker who has a 4-year degree may have to wait 5 to 6 years before that immigrant is able to come to the United States legally. There are significant wait times. People who otherwise would benefit the U.S. society, who want to come to the United States, can't do so quickly.
I am from Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone is a small country in West Africa that had a civil war for over 10 years. Many lives were destroyed. And eventually, I was fortunate to immigrate to the United States through Lutheran services. Before I came here, I traveled to Guinea-Conakry together with some other family members. And it took us about a whole year going back and forth at the American consular office. Every DV winner went the extra mile to get the money to be able to take a flight to Ghana, selling their furniture, giving up their apartment, selling cattle. Some people had cars, they had to sell them just to get airfares. And so we came to Ghana. Unfortunately, one afternoon before the deadline, we were assembled at the embassy, and we were surrounded by gunmen and masks, just to announce to us that there are no more DV diversity lottery visas for the DV winners in Sierra Leone. It was a chaos. The sun was hot and people fainted. Some were crying, because we didn't know what to do. Everybody had got rid of everything they had just to come to the United States. Eventually, we were able to come under the IOM, International Organization for Migration, and came to Tampa in 2000, March of 2000. We were welcomed by Lutheran Services and our half-brother. And at first, Lutheran Services gave us housing. They helped us with food and the bills until we were able to get on our feet. They also helped us to find jobs. My children and my wife, together with me, have a better opportunity to make a better life.
A common misconception is that if immigrants have United States citizen children, that they'll be able to stay in the United States legally. This is not the case. Someone who's here in the United States undocumented can have multiple United States citizen children, but if the person entered the United States illegally, that person won't be able to get automatic citizenship or permanent residence from the United States citizen children.
I was born in Brazil, I came to the United States when I was 22 years old. In here, I was presented an opportunity as a work visa. In 2003, I went to Brazil, to the United States consulate to get my work visa, but I wasn't able to get my wife with me because she was pregnant with our kids. Unfortunately, the airlines company didn't allow pregnant women to travel that far in the pregnancy, and because of that, she became out of status. I was able to get my green card, but the CIS denied her due to the fact that she was illegal still here in the United States. They have issued a deportation, and she had to go to Brazil with our American kids. We thought that the fact that our kids were American would be some sort of a benefit to us, but it was totally wrong. Personally, it's been hard for me to stay away from my wife and kids.
It's estimated that there are 31 million immigrants in the United States. 66% of those immigrants are here legally. 34% are here illegally. Of that 34%, 40% of them entered the United States legally but overstayed their visa, mostly because there wasn't a legal alternative for them to be able to stay in the United States.
I was adopted in Mexico in 1972. I have American parents, William and Barbara Woodcock. I lived here all of my life, here in America, and performed in the circus. My family was in the circus performers. It wasn't until I moved back to Florida when I was in my 30s that we discovered, by chance, that my paperwork, when my parents came back from Mexico, was not filed properly here in the States. The last option was basically to declare cancellation of deportation, was the verbiage that was used to me. And what that was is that I would go ahead and declare that I know that I am here illegally, and that I would need to go file all the paperwork to go ahead and process go to the judge and have the judge find out whether or not I was there was a reason for me to be here, to taking care of my family. Would there cause a hardship if I were to be deported?
In the case of Delilah, she had no other choice but to put herself into deportation proceedings. This means that she had to present herself before an immigration judge, knowing that if the judge denied her case, she would be sent back to Mexico, a country that she hadn't lived in since she was 2 years old. And this is a woman who doesn't speak Spanish and who doesn't have any family in Mexico. The standard that she had to meet in her case, called cancellation of removal, was exceptional and an extremely unusual hardship. This goes well and above and beyond normal hardship associated with separation or deportation.
I was born in Sarajevo, Bosnia and Herzegovina, capital city of Bosnia and Herzegovina, and now I live in Tampa, Florida for past 14 years. I'm an attorney at law, and I was 17 when I left Sarajevo. Within 24 hours of receiving a Social Security number, I started working, and I wasn't looking for any other help. I just wanted to work and provide for myself and my family. It was very important for me to learn English because we came here voluntarily. We came here because we desired to be here. We wanted to be part of this society. We love the United States, and we want to be productive citizens. So my understanding was logical. You have to integrate, and to integrate, obviously, you have to speak the language.
If we look at the history of the Lutheran Church in this country, it was formed by immigrants from different countries. And as we know, we look at Lutheran history, there must have been, what, a couple of dozen different Lutheran churches early on in our nation's history, and certainly in the last century. They're all based upon different ethnic backgrounds. The Swedes and the Norwegians and the Estonians, another example, a tiny little speck on a map, but they had their own Lutheran church and own Lutheran congregations that were formed and were served by pastors.
LIRS and the ELCA advocate the following principles for reform. Provides an earned pathway to lawful permanent residency and eventual citizenship for undocumented immigrants and their families. Ensures the humane enforcement of U.S. immigration laws, reducing the reliance on incarceration, and promoting community-based alternatives. Protects families from separation and ensures an adequate supply of visas for families seeking to reunite, reducing current long delays.